Stephanie, and I am here today to do the Booktube Booktubers Booktube book tag. You know what? You clicked on this video, you know what it's called. It's down there. You can read it. It's fine. Anyway, this is an awesome tag. It was created by the guys over at Stripped Cover Lit. I was tagged by the ladies at the restricted section, and then I was tagged a while ago by Juan at Just Juan Reader. Basically, the point of this tag is you pick a few of your favorite booktubers and you describe their channels and recommend them a book based on that description. And so I'm going to start this off by recommending books to the two channels who have tagged me in this tag. So the first one is the ladies over at the restricted section. Meg and Sue, I would describe them as kind of badass female characters that have a great friendship, and when they've done videos on like the kind of shows and TV and then seeing the kind of books they read, we have a lot of similarities. I would describe that common thread as a kind of a dark whimsy. So the book I am recommending to Meg and Sue is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is a very just like fun horror book about a friendship in high school, and it has a lot of just 80s nostalgia. It's really fun, it's very 80s, and I definitely suggest reading like a physical copy because it's laid out like a yearbook. Grady Hendrix always does like really cool things with his layouts. Like his other book, Horror Store, was laid out like an IKEA catalog, so he always just kind of tries to bring like a different element to this. And I thought this was just like a very fun horror novel about friendships. And then Juan at Just Juan Reader, he's a very smart guy. I noticed that this stuff he reads has a little bit of magical realism to it, but aside from magical realism, he does like stuff that has erudition and writing that's a little more deliberate. So for him and Juan, I have no idea if you've read this or not. But for you, I am recommending Beloved by Toni Morrison. The writing in this is absolutely beautiful. The story in here is heartbreaking. This has something that you can pick at and dissect and look at and study for hours. So if you haven't read this, I definitely suggest picking this up soon. So the next booktuber I'm talking about is Julie over at A Girl and a Book. Julie and I have pretty similar tastes. It's interesting when you look at Julie's channel because she looks like a very sweet girl, but then she's always talking about how like books aren't scary enough for her, and she reads a ton of horror novels. So for her, I thought I would recommend a book that had actually scared me. So the book I'm going to suggest is Penpal by Dathan Auerbach. I kind of understand what she means about books not being scary, especially when there's like supernatural stuff, you know, like vampires from different dimensions out to suck my soul. You know, it's not something that keeps me up at night. It's not something that makes me look over my shoulder. But Penpal I thought was especially frightening because it's about a stalker, you know, in the simplest terms, that's what it's about. And that is terrifying because that is something that happens. And after I read this book, I had to have someone walk me to my car after work for a week. And another interesting thing about this book is that this book was crowdfunded into publication. This was originally like a big creepypasta thread on Reddit, and people loved it and wanted more of it. So it has an interesting backstory, and it's definitely set up, you know, like a creepypasta. The next booktuber I want to talk about is Katie over at Life Between Words. She is very sweet, and like her sweetness comes out through her videos, and she is someone who I notice likes to read cozy books, but she's definitely not scared to step out of her comfort zone with what she reads. So for her, I would recommend Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel. This is a story about a girl who has the ability to transfer basically her emotions into the food that she makes, and then the people that eat it, you know, then experience those emotions. This is a story I thought it was comforting, and I've also heard a lot of other people say it was a comfort read. It talks a lot about food, there's recipes, and it's split up into like it's told in monthly installments, and every chapter starts out like a recipe and then ends up being a story. So I really enjoyed this book. It was really short. We read it for my book club, and I think the longest it took someone to read it was 3 days. So I definitely recommend checking this out. The next booktuber I want to talk about is Brittany over at Under the Radar Books. She is a fellow mom booktuber, and we also have a lot of books in common that we like. So Brittany likes to read books that have magical realism, and as her channel name would suggest, she likes books that are a little underrated, underrepresented, and I think she does make an effort to read diversely. So for her, I want to suggest a book that I read very recently called Stillwater Saints by Alex Espinosa. This is about a woman who runs a shop in Southern California in a Latino community, and she dispenses like herbs and cures and kind of like a Santeria kind of thing, but each chapter is about the people that seek her help and need these cures, and it's told through these different short stories. It was very fascinating and I thought very well written, and something I definitely thought she would enjoy. The next booktuber I want to talk about is Kate Howe. Kate Howe also is someone who loves to read cozy, feel-good books that feature female friendship. So for her, I thought I would suggest Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. This is about a female friendship. This takes place in Alabama, and just all the talk about food and the sweetness in the relationships in this I thought was great, and something I thought she would enjoy. And the last booktuber I want to talk about is Bree Hill. Bree reads a wide variety of books, but when she did her yearly wrap-up, I noticed there was a theme with memoirs about strong women or women overcoming difficult situations. So I wanted to recommend a book I read a very long time ago, and that was A Farewell to Manzanar by Jean Wakatsuki Houston. This is a woman's memoir about her time in a Japanese internment camp and kind of going through and what it was like and her upbringing. And it was a very short book, but I thought it was very interesting and fascinating, and something that at the time I didn't know anything about. I thought it would definitely be something she would enjoy. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Definitely go check out all the channels that I talked about, and if you haven't subscribed to them already, please do so. They are all absolutely amazing. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!